Hello, I'm Llewellyn King, the host of White House Chronicle, which is coming right up. But first, a few thoughts of my own. Obviously, because of once having been of the British persuasion, I've been asked a lot of questions about the British election and the special relationship. It's a rather silly subject. It is special because we share a lot of culture. It is special because we shared a lot of things in different wars. But it isn't that remarkable, and it isn't 100% durable. Back in the Suez Crisis of 1956, it wasn't evident at all. Language, of course, does bind us. Bismarck said the significant thing about the 20th century would be that the British and the Americans spoke the same language. And it's had its effect, except now all sorts of people all around the world speak English. So that tie is not as strong as it once was. And right at the moment, and I think it was reflected in the British polling results, there's been doubt about the relationship, largely not because of what the Americans did so much as what the Brits did, or their leader, when Tony Blair was Prime Minister. He threw in with George Bush against populist sentiment in England for the Iraqi war. And there's a certain sensitivity to this idea that Blair and subsequently Brown, the former Prime Minister, had become poodles, that they had become tools of American foreign policy. Well, this has been said before about other times, including Vietnam, but this time it was particularly acute. There's going to be a reassessment at the working level between the military establishments, between the intelligence establishments, and of course in business, the ties are going to be very strong. But the large body politic, the rest of the two nations may be drifting apart somewhat, different concerns. And in Britain, there is a concern with what they regard as the lack of certain decencies in America. And I'm going to have to tell you that they are not happy about things that we are happy about: the death penalty, the free availability of guns, and until very recently, the lack of national health insurance. They think of those things as being defining values in a civilized society, and they found our definition wanting. So the special relationship is there, but it's not quite the wondrous thing that politicians would like us to believe. And on the American side, there is our president. Barack Obama is the least Eurocentric president we've had, and he's the least British-centric. People got all fussed up when he sent back the bust of Churchill that George W. Bush had on his desk. Well, it wasn't really terribly appropriate to have a statesman of another country on your desk, and it suggested that you could somehow get some of the Churchillian magic by having it there. It was quite appropriate, really, for it to be sent back. It's a new era in transatlantic relationship, probably cordial, but not passionate. I have a very special guest today, and we're going to talk about the changing world, the establishment of new, unsuspected, but very pervasive and very powerful monopolies, and how that affects you, your pocketbook, and indeed our very culture and way of living. We'll be right back.
White House Chronicle is produced in collaboration with WHUT, Howard University Television.